I think 2019 is going to be the year that we figure this out, because the one thing that I tell people about streaming and all this is, yes, it's been going on for the last 10, 15, 20 years, but it becoming mainstay has only been in the last 5 years. And so what has happened now is we're in the toddler years of streaming, especially on social platforms. So
Right.
we're still trying to figure this out.
Right.
And that's why I'm pushing. That's why I told my church and I tell others, we have to make ourselves unique. We can't just do what everybody else is doing, because we're in the age like when radio first started and everybody had a radio station, and the FCC had to come in and go, whoa, okay, guys, you guys want to do radio? Here's how you're gonna do radio.
Right.
We're still in those days. Everybody's doing streaming. Everybody's trying to figure out what the secret formula is.
Yeah, we haven't even hit the golden age yet.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't hit the golden age yet. And so we're still trying to figure it out. And so we got all these X factors that are going on. And I think that's where I have to say that this is where Twitch is hitting their stride, because Twitch has finally figured out something and is hitting their stride. I mean, it blew me away and I know a lot of this viewer watch, a lot of this came from Twitch, but when AMD said 180 million hours of eSports was being watched, and that they predict, by 2020 or something like that it's going to be like 2 billion viewers or something like that. It was like, okay, Twitch has got something going, because a lot of that content was coming from Twitch. And so, they're starting to figure out the secret sauce, and everybody's trying to catch up. But the question comes now, can they catch up? Or I don't think Facebook's dead necessarily, but I think there's going to be a shift on what we use for social media. And I think Instagram is hitting it with their stories. And I think YouTube is getting there with their finally there with their videos. I think they're figuring out live. But Twitch is really where they got the live. I mean, I'm starting to pay attention to Twitch now. It's like, okay, now I got to get bored, because I actually found out that we have a very big gaming community in our church. And I went, oh, well, we need to do a gaming show here, people. Mm-hmm. But I think we're just at an interesting age right now with social media. And I think this is, if I'm going to make my 2019 predictions, I think social media overall we're going to see a lot of changes this year in social media. I think Facebook's going to have to make a lot of changes. I think YouTube is going to solidify some of their changes, and they've already done it. I mean, they switched their premium platform to a freemium type setup where you can watch our premium content, but you're going to get commercials left and right. And so I don't know. It's going to be interesting this year, because we've now realized Facebook is the billboard platform. Same with Instagram. Everybody's watching videos on YouTube, but nobody has figured out the live video yet. That's the big question mark. That's the X factor. And once that's figured out, it's going to shoot off like a rocket ship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I don't remember where we had the conversation. I said, if I could do anything right now, if I could start up one more business, which I can't do this one, I would be to open up an eSports bar. You would make a killing in any major city. Become one of the first eSports bars.
Yeah, well, I told my youth pastor, it says, okay, we don't have a gymnasium, so we can't do a gym. We can't do the traditional basketball, indoor soccer, sports leagues that every other church in America does. But everybody already at my core talks about WoW. I forget some of the other games that are big into RPG games. And I'm like, and we got some dead space right now in our building. I mean, that's the one problem that we have in ministry-wise in our churches. We have a lot of dead space, to the point of one of our donors was like, wow, you got a lot of unused rooms. And I'm like, okay, so we can't do traditional sports. We already have a lot of people here that like doing gaming. And my pastor, who is in his 50s, right now is playing video games.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, I'll come to your house. You don't even have to bring the equipment here. I'll come to your house and you can do a Twitch stream like Pastor Susie. He's like, Pastor Susie? Pastor what? I'm like, yes, there's pastors streaming on Twitch. They play games just like you. And so I'm like, I want to take one. I'm already claiming another room in this building and saying, we're going to make it a LAN center and it's going to be a BYOD center, and you bring your own device. We're going to make it eSports. I've already looked up the term. There's a couple eSports platforms that worked even great with streaming. And I'm like, we're going to do eSports. That's where it is. That's nobody else is doing it. No
It's
other
a ministry
church.
opportunity.
Yeah, no other church is doing it. It's going to be unique, and we're in a community that doesn't have a safe place to go. And so if I can get a kid come in with his computer, and if he doesn't, I will find the donors that will donate computers. Then we can start an esports team. Because they were like, well, we could start our own esports team. It's like, yeah, we could start our own esports team, but we could also do an esports league, because that's where everybody watching is. And if I can get one person to Christ because they were watching a Fortnite game.
Yep.
And I literally, the first time I watched Pastor Susie's channel, it was his church channel, he was hosting somebody else. Within the first 5 minutes, I saw the pastor there lead somebody to Christ over the stream. I went, sold. I'm done. That's what we're doing. So, yeah, I'm now on a soapbox.